Thank you, Madam. Any seconder to that motion?
I so second, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, all in favor of the motion say aye. And those against say nay. The ayes have it.
The record of votes and proceedings for Wednesday, 16th August 2023.
Deputy Leader, I presume you want to amend the letter paper. Shall we proceed, please?
The record of votes and proceedings for Wednesday, 16th August 2023.
Honorable members, we shall now consider a record of votes and proceedings for yesterday, Wednesday, the 16th of August. And we shall do so by starting from page 5. Any amendments? Page 5. Page 6. Page 7. Thank you. Can someone please move?
I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Any seconder?
I so second, Mr. Speaker.
All in favor of the motion say aye. Aye. I repeat, those in favor of the motion say aye. Aye. And those against say nay. The ayes have it.
The record of votes and proceedings for Wednesday, 16th August 2023 has been adopted. Announcement by Mr. Speaker.
I have a very brief announcement to make, and is addressed particularly to the members-elect of the All People's Congress Party. Honorable members, you will all recall that on the 25th of July, I addressed a special appeal to the members-elect of the opposition All People's Congress Party to accept the necessity of coming to take their seats in Parliament to which they've been duly elected. There is no evidence of compulsion on anyone to stand for election. On the contrary, they stood for the elections voluntarily and freely made promises of all sorts to their supporters, thus demonstrating their willingness and determination to represent their people On the basis of those promises, the people voted for them as their representatives to Parliament. By failing thus far to come and take their seats, they must know they are in breach of their contract with the people who voted them to Parliament. And they must also know that there are consequences for such a breach. What is more, whichever side of the argument you espouse, remember that aside from the courts of justice, there is no better platform in our system for an elected member to ventilate their grievances and concerns and interests than within the hallowed walls of this chamber. In this regard, my sympathy is unlimited, especially for the young MPs who have been waiting for years for the opportunity, sacrificing labor and sweat and spending their last cent just to become honorable member of this House. I say to them, please come and exercise your right of representation, and you will receive the full protection of this noble House. Two of their colleagues in the APC are already with us. I therefore want to take this opportunity to thank them both again, Honorable Mohamed Bangura and Honorable Alfred Thompson. I also want to thank those progressives within the ranks of the APC party, and there are many, who have so far joined me in trying to persuade the other elected MPs to see reason and come to take their seats in the House. There are just too many to recount their names here. Well, let me assure them all that they carry with them the respect, the honor, and admiration of the citizens of this country for their good deeds. May Allah continue to shower them with His boundless mercies and blessings. I want to extend also the same compliments to our revered Honorable Paramount Chiefs in this House for their enhanced involvement in this matter. They've consulted with me, and I've given them my blessing to proceed with the assignment they have willingly undertaken to convey the strong voices of their subjects nationwide who are anxious to see their elected MPs of the APC party take their seats in this 6th Parliament. For those elected members of Parliament of the APC party who are yet to come, and to the reasonable and respected members of that party, I want to say to them not to relent, but to continue to persevere until common sense is allowed to prevail and the rule of law is allowed to reign supreme. Nations which today appear to be better, stronger and mightier have attained that status not by succumbing to the law of the jungle or the law of the deepest pocket, but rather by yielding to the rule of law. The law is greater and mightier than any individual or group of individuals. So let me end this admonishment again with yet another reminder that the clock of 30 sitting days is ticking. To date, we've had 12 plenary sittings and 7 sittings of the sessional committees, and counting. And counting. Just as the internal democracy of political parties had to be addressed in ways necessary to bring them in line with the national constitution, so it is equally pertinent to address decisions taken by political parties to see if they are squared with the national constitution. Honorable members, again I say, a word to the wise is sufficient. For those of you with friends on the other side, please convey my heartiest compliments and my best wishes and expectations to welcome them to the well of this house. I thank you for your kind attention.
Mr. Speaker,
yes.
Considering the importance of the announcement that you just made, and looking at the impressionistic view that people are carrying and the absence of our colleague has adverse effects on governance, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, let us establish the fact that the Constitution of Sierra Leone reigns supreme, and it reigns over any and every emotion and every impression that anybody carries outside the law and outside this Constitution. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, subsection 3 of section 94 makes the process, sitting and activities of government and activities of this 6th Parliament in this 4th session valid and effective. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, we must not oversight the fact that subsection 1 of section 94 of the Constitution gives this Parliament the power to regulate itself. And part of its regulation, and in tandem with paragraph E of section 77 and also 77(2), it is but clear that you reminded members of Parliament elect that the clock is ticking. However, we must also make it clear that we on this side, we are not apprehensive or living in fear of carrying out or discharging our functions as members of Parliament, because we are doing it under the guide and the protection of the Constitution. However, it must be known, like you stated in your statements, that it is a moral responsibility by our colleagues to come and represent their people. That whatever we are doing here, we are not doing it as members of Parliament for the SNPP representing different states, because section 97 of the Constitution, paragraph 8, gives us the power not only to represent our district, but to represent the people of Sierra Leone. So whether they are here or not, what we are doing here is validated by subsection 3 of section 94 and is confirmed by paragraph A of section 97 of the Constitution. So they must be mindful of the fact that whatever they are peddling out there as a way of massaging their base, as a way of comforting their supporters, that they are going to expect whatever that is not possible. They must come, they must represent their people, and they must do so within the ambit of the law. If they fail to obey the law, let them come and respect the wishes of their people. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I thank the honorable member, and I endorse his statement in its entirety, except for one issue. I don't think your duty is entirely or can be left entirely within the realm of morality, and beginning to see the possibility of that duty being elevated to a legal duty of representation. But that is for another day. That is for another day. Constitutional jurists may wish to look into that question. Whether the duty is purely moral or whether it can be elevated to a level higher than morality. Be that as it may, we shall continue the day's business. Thank you for your support and for your kind observations.
Motion of thanks. Motion of the Committee on Appointments and the Public Service. Proposer, Honorable Matthew S. Kima. Seconder, Honorable Sir Emerson Lamina.
Thank you very much. Before the read, I just want to say thanks to Mr. Speaker for bringing our colleagues to speak. I'm happy we are raising the issues about constitutionality, absolute responsibilities as members of parliament elect. Though also I want to add to the fact that when you are elected, you have a moral duty to perform based on Section 82 of the Constitution, the election of Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to give this the second time we are calling all of us to take full responsibility of our duty as members of parliament. So I don't want to acknowledge the fact that as the presiding officer of this chamber and the head of parliament, we are in the right track and we are taking us as people who are supposed to serve the interests of the state. Thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, the fifth session of the sixth Parliament of the Second Republic of Sierra Leone, the fifth report of the Committee on Appointment and Public Service on parliamentary vetting of presidential nominations. Introduction. 1. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, the Committee on Appointment and Public Service, in tandem with its constitutional obligations, met on Tuesday, 15th August 2023, and interviewed 8 presidential nominees for the following positions. 1. 2 proposed deputy ministers of mines and mineral resources and internal affairs, respectively, the director of public prosecution, and 5 members of the Anti-Corruption Commission Advisory Board. The committee maintained its usual consistency as established procedure and interviewed the aforesaid nominees on issues pertaining to their educational backgrounds to ensure that they have the relevant education and necessary backup experience to lead such important offices of state. Probing questions covered wide-ranging issues related to the track record, pertinent to their declared assets, tax obligations, and vision for sustainable and productive tenure. Issues of unsuitability or otherwise we are also strictly looked into by the committee. 7th sitting of the committee on Tuesday, 5th August 2023, the committee interviewed the following nominees on oath. 1. Mr. Umaru Napoleon Kuruma, Esquire. Deputy Minister of Mines and Mineral Resources, Mr. Umar Napoleon Kuruma, Esquire, holds a master's degree in international dispute resolution with specialization in international commercial arbitration and international investment law from University of London, United Kingdom. Prior to this appointment, he served as chairman of the National Commission for Privatization in 2018 to 2020 and Deputy Minister of Justice of the Republic of Sierra Leone. He is the National Secretary General of the governing Sierra Leone People's Party, a position he has held with diligence and admiration. As Deputy Minister of Justice, he led many government delegations on multilateral agreements, including Sierra Leone's delegation to the United Nations, Convention on International Settlement Agreement, leading to the Singapore Convention on Mediation. He was also part of the team of lawyers that worked with other international law firms successfully resolve the dispute between the government of Sierra Leone and the Gerald Group following government termination of the minimum. Sorry, there is a correction. Sorry, sir. I don't know if you have the same printout.
Following government termination.
No, hold on, sir. Just a minute. Go back to international law firms successfully to resolve the dispute between the government of Sierra Leone and the Gerald Group following government termination of the mining lease agreement with the Sierra Leone Mining, SL Mining. That's what you have, sir. SL Mining you have?
Yes, I do.
Okay, thank you. So if there's any correction, maybe do that. Sorry. Responding to the committee, the erudite legal professional said he was grateful to His Excellency the President for the confidence bestowed on him to serve in his cabinet, and his appointment to the mining sector was a strategic move to critically review costs of our mining lease agreement in the best interest of the country. The nominee was praised across party lines for his astute leadership over the years. Mr. Usman Ibrahim Khan, Esquire. Mr. Usman Ibrahim Esquire, proposed Director of Public Prosecution, DPP. Mr. Usman Ibrahim Khan, Esquire, is an erudite lawyer with outstanding track record in the legal system of Sierra Leone until his recent appointment by the President to serve as Director of Public Prosecution. He was Principal State Counsel in the Office of the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, a position he has held since 2005 with utmost credibility. During his tenure as Principal State Counsel, he successfully represented the government of Sierra Leone on several international cases, including SL Mining versus Government of Sierra Leone 2018, Simon Galgana versus Government of Sierra Leone 2017, under the International Chambers of Commerce (ICC) rules, the London Court of Arbitration rules, and the International Center for Settlement of Investment Disputes (ICSID) rules. He was also lead counsel representing the government of Sierra Leone in matters against the Sierra Leone government before the Regional Court of the Economic Community of West African States (ECOWAS). Responding to what he would add to this office, he said the role of the office will speak for itself, ranging from giving legal advice to representing government in all legal matters. He continued that his long presence within this corridor will help him achieve as expected. He was praised by committee as an actual round peg in round hole, end of quote. Mr. Moriba Sobon Kuruma. Proposed Deputy Minister, Ministry of Internal Affairs. Mr. Moriba Sobon Kuruma is a skillful politician of no mean standing that has served the Sierra Leone People's Party as chairman of the Kenema district.
I think now we understand why the enthusiasm is pretty normal.
This is a report. I agree with the report. But the deputy is appearing. We have clerk of the committee. I read the report.
I'm only acknowledging, and I'm sure the rest of us all agree,
In fact,
that the leader of government business is presenting a report with absolute utmost enthusiasm. And we want to congratulate him for that.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, in fact, you have obstructed me. You have obstructed me, so let me start reading the report. So, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Moriba Sobon Kuruman. Thank you. Is a skillful politician of no mean standing that has served the Sierra Leone People's Party as chairman of the Kenema district. He is a cultural and a traditional leader held in great esteem, commonly referred to as Agba.
Okay, belong to that.
No. The only one living among the humans. A traditional leader held in great esteem, commonly referred to as Agba, especially by the steaming masses of the hunting and other societies across the nation. He is a peacemaker, fast decision maker, and has ability to quickly mobilize crowd with rational intent. Mr. Moriba Sobon Kuruma won a seat as councillor in Kenema City Council, where he rose to act deputy mayor in 2009. He holds a Bachelor of Science degree with honors in business administration from the Eastern Technical University of Sierra Leone and host of other certificates to his credit. Responding to probing questions, he promised to work in close collaboration with his superiors to establish administrative structures that will enhance the objectives of their assignment. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, the Anti-Corruption Commission Act of 2008 clearly elucidates the relevance and powers of the ACC Advisory Board, as in Section 22, subsection 4, which says, and I read, the Advisory Board on corruption shall, in addition to... There's no mistake there. I give you time to just cool down. All right, thank you. Sorry, Mr. Speaker, I was trying to respond to quiet conducting from a very beautiful lady in the house, and right behind me. I was mesmerized by her voice, so I had to stop to answer to her. God, of course. So let me just go over. It's not a mistake anyway. It's giving the fact to the powers of the Anti-Corruption Commission. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, the Anti-Corruption Commission, ACC, Act of 2008 clearly elucidates the relevance and powers of the ACC Advisory Board, as in Section 22, subsection 4, which says, the Advisory Board on corruption shall, in addition to any other function, A, advise the Commission on any aspect of the mandate and functions of the Commission, and B, annually assess the work of the Commission and advise the Commission on relevant matters. In this vein, after the expiration of the tenure of the previous board, the following proposed nominees were appointed to perform on this board. Mr. Edwin Fore Gondo, Mr. Edwin Fore Gondo, proposed member, Anti-Corruption Advisory Board. Thank you. Mr. Edwin Fore Gondo is an educationist, mental health care specialist, and housing estate management expert spanning over 2 decades. He has added administrative skills as we are executed both at public and private institutions. We no doubt aid this board to advise the ACC Commissioner accordingly. He holds a Bachelor of Arts degree from the Furman College, University of Australia, USA, 1984, and many other certificates to his credit. He promised to lend support to the anti-corruption public education sector in expanding messages to all facets of society about the menace of corruption. Mr. Chano Charo, proposed member, Anti-Corruption Commission, Advisory Board. Thank you. Mr. Chano Charo is a seasoned public administrator international political economy, public affairs and finance. His broad knowledge in data analysis, organizational theories, economics and political science will equip this nominee to look at the diverse landscapes of ACC operations and advise accordingly. He holds a Master of Science in Political Science and a Master of Arts from the University of Texas or Dallas, Richardson, Texas, respectively. Responding to members of the committee, the socio-political scientist quoting him said, "This responsibility demands collaboration, and I promise to work with my colleagues to meet the expectations of the institution and government." He concluded an end of quote. Alhaji Oshoba Abadin. Proposed member, Anti-Corruption Advisory Board. Thank you. Stay here. Thank you. Release. Alhaji Abadin is an indigene of touristic Abadin community in the western area. He is a revered Muslim and community councillor with proven track records in community building and guidance, spanning over 2 decades. He is currently the assistant imam of the Katubula Masjid. Katubula Masjid. Right? I'm not a Muslim. Masjid Jamaat at Aberdeen. He holds a diploma in engineering from former Congo Cross Technical Center, now the Mintimaga Technical University, and worked for several years as supervisor at the Sierra Leone National Workshop, Kleintown, and other private construction entities. On his inputs to the board as a seasoned Islamic cleric, he responded that prayers with faith will help the advisory board to deliver on the mandate and oneness they will stand tall to the challenges. Honorable Josephine Matthew. Of the Advisory Board Anti-Corruption Commission. Honorable Josephine Matthew is a medical practitioner with several years of experience with outstanding performances in the health sector. Operations include the Ebola control programs, sexual and gender-based violence prevention at Medicine Sans Frontières, MSF, Belgium, ETA. Honorable Matthew was a member of Parliament for Sierra Leone People's Party in the immediate 5th Parliament, representing constituency 14 in the Kenema district. During her tenure, she diligently served on various parliamentary committees, including Deputy Chairperson, Parliamentary Oversight Committee on Health and Sanitation. Responding to members on her contribution to the advisory board, she said she would work accordingly as previous lawmaker or to understand the tenets of the law governing the operations of the anti-corruption, ACC. I will work collaboratively with my colleagues to help the institution achieve its mandate. Dr. Joseph Gaima, Lukule Mweka. Proposed member of the Advisory Board Anti-Corruption Commission, Dr. Joseph Gaima Lukule Mweka, is a renowned clergyman, academician, with lofty professional research experience that reflects problematic situation solving. He commands a broad autonomy of judgment and leadership that leads to the organizational change and development. He holds a Doctor of Philosophy degree from the University of West Trinity, St. David, United Kingdom, October 2016, and several other degrees in humanities. The nominees are served in various works of life, to name a few. 1. 2023 PhD thesis External Examiner for Management, Science and Technology Research, India. 2022, Curriculum Committee, Chairman, Voluntary Work, UMUSL, 2022. Curriculum Committee, Semi-Voluntary Work, Member, MCSL, 2022. Head of Department, Semi-Voluntary Work, United Methodist University. Senior Lecturer in Education, Mitimagai College of Education and Technology. Now Mitimagai Technical University, Freetown, Sierra Leone. SFPP flag bearer aspirant 2011. Please take note of the correction. Remove the one you have as President of Sierra Leone, please. Remove it, please. SFPP flag bearer aspirant 2011. Please take note of the correction. 2000 to 2002, Regional Supervisor for Peace and Civic Education, Eastern Sierra Leone. 1999 to 2005, Lecturer with Advanced University Education, Trondheim City Council, Norway, 1997 to 1999. Third clergy in charge of Shegema Circuit, Kailau District. These are proper names. No bother. Dr. Weber promised to use his academic prowess and research ability to advise the board in promoting work to the ACC. Sorry, take note of the correction again. In promoting the work of the ACC. Full stop. He said the work will require profound collaboration and communities which he promised to uphold. Recommendation. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, the committee adjourned the following presidential nominees to be adequately qualified for their proposed appointment, and they are recommended to the House for approval. 1. Mr. Umar Kuruma, Esquire, proposed Deputy Minister of Mines and Mineral Resources. 2. Mr. Usman Ibrahim Khan, Esquire, proposed Director of Public Prosecution. 3. Mr. Moriba Kuruma, proposed Deputy Minister, Ministry of Internal Affairs. Mr. Edwin Forekondo, proposed Member, Anti-Corruption Board, Advisory Board. Mr. Chenok Jaro, proposed Member, Anti-Corruption Advisory Board. Alhaji Oshoba Abadin, proposed Member, Anti-Corruption Advisory Board. Honorable Josephine Makiu, proposed Member, Anti-Corruption Advisory Board. Dr. Joseph Gaima Lukule Moiba, proposed Member of the Advisory Board, Anti-Corruption Commission. Mr. Speaker, honorable member, the fifth report reflects the unanimous view of the committee. I therefore move that the fifth report of the first session of the Committee of an Appointment and Public Service be adopted by the House and recommendations contained therein be approved. Read faithfully submitted. Honorable Matthew Sanuma, GP, Chairman of the Committee, and a son from Bukaka Jama Bunamayama.
I thank the leader of government business. Any seconder to his motion?
Mr. Speaker, I support the motion.
Any seconder to the motion?
I so second, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable members, before I put the question, I would like to take the opportunity to recognize a few eminent personalities in our midst this morning. It's not often that we have the privilege of seeing the Honorable Chief Justice in our midst in this chamber. Aside from state openings of Parliament, they seldom come to us in this chamber, but he's taking the opportunity for very good reasons to be here today. May we please recognize his presence. Is he here or is there? Okay. I understand he's left the chamber. The other one is an illustrious son of this house, a very important servant of the 5th Parliament, the Honorable Adusan Khan. As you can very well see, there is a certain terminology that is missed, which he has brought to life again with his presence here today. I will now put a question, honorable members, that the 5th report of the first session of the 6th Parliament of the Committee on Appointments and the Public Service be adopted by the House and that the recommendations contained therein as read out by the Leader of Government Business be approved. I will give the seconder the first bite. And I would just want to see how many people wish to take the floor for me to be guided as to the length of speeches that I will entertain this morning. As you know, we still have today is the 4th allotted day of the debate on the presidential address. But over to you, honorable member.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, mindful of the continuity of the motion of thank you to HE, the President, I'll be very succinct and brief in seconding this motion. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, we want to thank the President for judiciously exhibiting Section 61 of Sierra Leone's 1991 Constitution, Act No. 6, which gives him the power to hire as well as to fire. While I thank HE, the President, I must also congratulate the nominees. The nominees, I want to believe that you will receive fortune from this House for your approval, which will automatically give you the mandate to work for the people of Sierra Leone. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I will employ all of the nominees that they pick up a very good example from the 5th Parliament and HE's first inning. Whilst all of the various servants, be it political or civic servants, we are working in their various domains. Yes, we are focusing on education, which was number 1 in HE's first inning. Education was number 1, and we saw how we successfully campaigned on the platform of education. Here we are. In HE's second inning, he is focusing on Feed Sierra Leone. Feed Sierra Leone. Directly or indirectly, you have a responsibility to contribute how we can feed Sierra Leone. Feed Sierra Leone. Successive governments have wasted a lot of money on agriculture because they failed to study the topography of our land. As a result, they went on tractorization. Tractorization did not hold water because they failed to study topography. How will you contribute to feed Sierra Leone in your various domains, whether in the mining sector, as DPP, government lawyer primarily, whether in internal affairs, how you will contribute? All of the board members in the ACC, how you curtail the corrupt money from corrupt politicians, bringing in to feed Sierra Leone. It is high time we began to engage in joint ventures. The last time I checked, I still see China as the highest producer of rice, and India second in China before coming to Vietnam. Can you imagine? I begin to see how or why will Sierra Leone not employ joint venture? Joint venture. We have at 190 or 91 paramount chiefs, and they have productive soil, whether Boli, Inland Valley Swamp, for cash crop production, etc., etc. When we begin joint ventures, we will succeed to feed Sierra Leone. What does it mean? Hire those that have the expertise and the technology. Come, the paramount chiefs are ready, I'm too sure. They will give their land, do the cultivation, whether agriculture, Inland Valley Swamp, cash crop production, animal husbandry, agricultural extension. Do it in a trickle of an eye. The moment Sierra Leone employing joint ventures, definitely will be capable to feed our people. Mr. Speaker, the board members I will first address. Members of the board serving the ACC, I want you to know that the ACC has made a name. The ACC contributed a lot for Sierra Leone to click for 82 grades. The last time I checked, the former administration of President Annette Nkrumah tried, but they only stopped at 49 at MCC. President Manabio's first inning clicked 82%. That could not have come by had it not been the hard work of anti-corruption. This is the work we are going to do. Number one, you are going to help the ACC Commission to recruit. You advise them. You are also going to assist them to instill disciplinary action. Critical decisions they will take, they will definitely consult the board. That is the work you are going to do. Will you sit by and see that grade of 82 drops now? No way. You are going to work very hard so that we can maintain a name. Our ACC Commissioner General today, many of the West African countries, they copy his blueprints. How are they fighting? Why? Because of stronger regulations. He came to this parliament, the parliament empowered with stronger regulations, and the conviction rate is so high. Corrupt monies today we've got from corrupt politicians is going to be used to further our social and economic gains. So I will not actually address you one by one, but this is your task. Help us to maintain the banner and help us to hold the banner high. You have a lawmaker, seasoned lawmaker, in the person of Marquis Josephine. She's been a fine lawmaker and she knows the processes, starting from gazetting, pre-legislative, first reading, second reading, committee stage, and the passing to law. If you are in doubt of how you can make an addendum or stronger statutes and laws, you consult her. A seasoned lawmaker should give you all a piece of advice so that the anti-corruption can hold the banner higher and higher. Thank you very much. I know you are going there to make Sierra Leone proud. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, permit me to look at the contribution of Moriba Nkrumah, Elias Agbao. President Manabio is proving to the nation every now and then that SO2, when monkey walk, make monkey eat, especially for the time of kids. President Manabio is disappointing his naysayers that indeed when monkey walk, SO2, when monkey walk, let monkey eat, especially qualified monkeys. This is a man called Agbao. the length and breadth of Kenema, you mobilize, bringing seasoned lawmakers in the world, even at the local council. You will not sit by, but bringing people from far and near, even those on the fence or in the opposition in Kenema. I can confirm to you with all alacrity, he contributed a lot in bringing them over. Today, you'll be serving as Deputy Internal Affairs Minister. Section 155 and Section 156 of Sierra Leone's 1991 Constitution is making you to know your role. You are going to assist your boss to look after the prisons, the fire force, to look after the police. The police will be responsible to maintain the peace and serenity within the state. It was unfortunate for the people of Sierra Leone that the Deputy Minister of Internal Affairs advised the substantive minister in 1978 for Dr. Shekhar Stephen to make a policeman to have a seat in this well of parliament. Bad president. You can imagine. We are told that in 1978, the Constitution gave the police right to sit in the House of Parliament. Because you have no business in the police. 1978 Constitution, President Shekhar Stephen, ex-President Shekhar Stephen, gave the army to have a seat in the House of Parliament. Bad law. They should be neutral, they should be professional, and they should have no business with this sacred House of Parliament. You can imagine, since that time, the police started politics. And the police was so corrupt before 1992. And it not be the intervention of Kibiru, a British trained police, that professionalized against the police. I wonder how it would be. Mr. Ibrahim Sobon Koroma, you have a role to assist a boss. Let me make it clear. Deputies are not slaves. You have a role of complimenting your boss. In the same ministry, you respect your boss with a symbiotic relationship. Mutual. You should not consider yourself to be slaves to the substantive. And I want to believe, as a strong soldier, faithful and focused gentleman, you make Sierra Leone police proud. Proud, very proud in the annals of the world. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, we want to look at the DPP, Sir Usman Ibrahim Kanu. He is definitely going to be the nation's lawyer, DPP. The role of a DPP is very critical. Critical, you will not sleep in the day, in the night, because you have to make the government be proud in winning cases. The BPP's role is critical. How is it critical? Surprisingly, those that are still in doubt of our judiciary, let me make it clear that under President Madabio's presidency, the judiciary has been very, very independent. They will not work under duress, nor they will force to take certain decisions. Very, very independent. The life and the blood of any state lies in the judiciary. When justice is bemoaned, definitely that nation will not be happy. For the records, it will surprise you that under President Madabio's first inning, 5 Supreme Court cases, the APC win 4. The SLPP won 1. Can you imagine? That tells you the independence of the judiciary under President Madabio. Supreme Court cases were 5 in the last administration. The APC won 4. Including the KKY case as well as the Dr. Samuel case of having the legality to run or not to run. They win 4. And the SLPP won 1. Under President Madabio's watch, in this nation, the APC won 32 election petitions. The SLPP won only 28. You can imagine ruling government, losing cases to the opposition. That's the record. What is this telling us? It is telling us that President Madabio's hand of independence. He will not interfere. He will leave the judiciary as well as the legislative house to work freely. See the many laws you've made in 5 years, about 82 laws, whether new, repeal, or replace. 82, free hand. That's the man. DPP. I hope you will critically watch before prosecuting, before standing for government, not to lose a case. You are working, you'll be working, you are very close to Mr. Napoleon Kuruma, who has been working very closely as Deputy Justice Minister with that office, and with his arbitration skill, negotiation skill, especially with the miners, big miners, you are going to make Sierra Leone proud. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I will summarize with a brain. The Ban Ki-moon Elias, the Secretary General of the ruling Sierra Leone People's Party, not a mineral at all, but a very strong one, Mr. Umaru Napoleon Kuruma. This man deserves a standing ovation.
Next time he will not sign your papers.
Mr. Speaker, indeed, he deserves a standing ovation. A man that will take a party from opposition to ruling deserves a standing ovation. He studied the skills and the techniques of politics since his tutelage in the university. I first came across this man at loose elections. Is it 2005? Yes, at loose. We were in opposite camp. White was pushing hard to become the loose Chief Justice. I was also pushing hard to make Umaru Paran Kuruma Chief Justice. Umaru Paran Chief Justice. Can you see? Two Umarus at par. Umaru Napoleon Kuruma was pressing hard to become Chief Justice of the National Union of Sierra Leone Students. And I also presented a candidate, Umaru Paran Tarali, for Chief Justice. Village students, we went to Frave College. And we made a campaign. And then the day, we stole the day from Frave College, and we made Umaru Paran Tarali Chief Justice at NUS in that particular year. That's a man, but a skillful politician though, strong, as I will tell you, he will be having a fine task. I want to believe the mining sector will contribute a lot to Operation Feed Sierra Leone. I will take you to brief history as the erstwhile chairman of the mineral sector in this parliament, Mr. Umaru Napoleon Kuruma. It took 90 years. There was no artisanal mining policy in this nation. Can you see? 90 years. Mining started 1930 until 2019. Under President Manabio's watch at Cabinet, they ratified the first artisanal mining policy. Can you imagine, Mr. Speaker? I'm not saying that there were no hard work documents to steer the ship of mining, but I'm talking of a comprehensive artisanal mining policy. It came, it saw the light of day in 2019. That's the issue there. 3 policies: the geodata management policy, Sierra Leone mineral policy, artisanal mining policy. That's the achievements you are going to inherit. Mr. Napoleon, under President Manabio's first inning, we saw the Extractive Industries Revenue Act that is giving Sierra Leone huge money today from mining companies. If you ask NRA, they will tell you. Mr. Napoleon Kuruma, under President Manabio's first inning, we saw the Mines and Minerals Development Act. That's so phenomenal, novelty. That's the act. It will contribute 10% free coverage from the all bauxite producers to give to the government of Sierra Leone. Yet, the government of Sierra Leone will not spend a dime, but that act gives the power to the government of Sierra Leone. First time in history, Sierra Leoneans, especially the mining community, they are going to receive 1% of the community development fund. Mr. Napoleon. That's the act. And I want to believe, being a contributor to most of these agreements, working in the office of the Attorney General before this time, you'll be very relevant and pivotal to make new agreements this step around. So Napoleon Kuruma, You are going to help working hand in hand with Mr. Julius Matai to make Sierra feel the sweetness of their minerals. The most final scenario will tell you, it take our land, it take our heart. It take our heart, it take everything away from us. The minerals. We want to benefit from the minerals, and you have that potential. The minerals. Very important. Mr. Napoleon Koma, the enemy has a very strategic plan. They are going to work very hard to bring a strategic plan that will match it for the mineral sector. That is it. At the end of the day, I want to believe, from the mineralization, the beneficiation to the people of Sierra Leone will be felt. And for mining community, whenever I talk of mining, I become so passionate because I want the people in the mining communities, especially what the current act has done. First in history, we have designed a mining development fund. That is not necessarily those chiefdoms that we have mining, benefit from mining money. But even those chiefdoms that are not miners, whether they are cocoa, coffee producers, or whether they are cola nut, orange producers, or plantain banana producers, yes, they are now going to benefit from mining money. That is it. We saw transparency under President Madabio, first in history. Let me tell you one secret of the 2017 audit report. When I read audit report of 2017, it clearly told me that those monies called CDA were never accounted for. I'm not saying it. It is the audit report of 2017. The CDA money were never accounted for. President Madabio, to the people of Ferengbaya, first in history, he has paid 25 billion euros. Does he not deserve a standing ovation on the debt? President Madabio pays about 40 billion to the people of Marampa and Mafoki. Does he deserve a knock on the debt? So transparency under President Madabio, and that is the office Mr. Napoleon Koma is going to work. That is it. In summary, ladies, only one lady, and gentlemen, that will be getting new offices in an hour's time. Sierra Leoneans hope on you. DPP, I think I must also make this humble appeal to you. It's like many of the international communities want to intimidate Sierra Leone, and you have that pivotal role. We cannot be intimidated. We are a sovereign state, as spelled out in Chapter 3 of our Constitution, as well as we also want it to be known to the international community that we respect the bilateral relationship, we honor it, we cannot deviate from it. But yes, make it clear, the government lawyer, DPP, that international community should also respect Article 41 of the Vienna Convention. Article 41 of the Vienna Convention. It prohibits diplomats not to interfere into the domestic politics of nations. And we cannot be intimidated. Let the DPP make it very clearly that in as much as we respect the sovereignty, I've never had a Sierra Leonean ambassador poking nose into the affairs of Germany as a country. Yet, Germany also practices proportional representation. I've never seen or heard Sierra Leone High Commissioner poking nose into the British elections. Yes. No way.
I have seen that.
So, Article 40, we have seen it? It won't be a mirage if you have. So the BBP's role should be made clearly that we are a sovereign state, we cannot and must not be intimidated, and diplomats should keep to the bilateral relationship we should share. Honorable members, I call upon all, from the left and the right side, that we speedily ratify these fine gentlemen and the lady among them so that they can go and work for the people of Sierra Leone. I thank you very much.
I thank the Honorable Member for his contribution to this debate. Let me give a snapshot of the work program I want us to go through today. I have tentatively 21 speakers on my list who want to take the floor on the debate on the presidential address today. 21. Now, and I plan to take an adjournment for lunch, not later than 12:30. So which means we have exactly 1 hour to complete this particular item on the other paper, and then adjourn for lunch, and come back and start the debate proper on the presidential address. Inevitably, this means I've got to limit the length of speeches to be made from now on. I don't want to put any figure on it as yet. I just want to see if you can each apply some self-denying injunction on yourselves. If I notice that people are exceeding what is reasonable as a limit, then obviously I'll do the needful. So with that, let me get an indication of those who wish to take the floor. Yes, on this one. Obviously, you must know I cannot accommodate all of you. So who would like to give up on this one? And hopefully, if your name is already on the list, okay. Maybe, please. Let us be fair. Let us be fair and reasonable. I will give preference to those from Kenema. I'll give preference to those from Kwenadugu and Falaba. Let's start with Kwenadugu and Falaba. If you know you are not from those two districts, please take your
Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker.
No, please, let's be honest. I'll come to Kanema, I know.
When I do go Falaba,
I want to see the Falaba MPs and the Kwenadugu MPs.
I'm sure Mr. Speaker would also like to see the women speaking for Honorable Joseph. I'm sure you would like to see a female member of Parliament. Mr. Speaker, we have to rest. Mr. Speaker, we have to rest.
My time.
I want to suggest.
I've not asked you. Let me start. Okay, let me start with Falaba. You have the floor. And
Thank you very much.
impose on yourself an injunction of eyes.
I'll be brief, Mr. Speaker. I'll be brief. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I want to thank His Excellency for choosing these 5 men and women to continue to, as he used to do, to serve in their various capacities. Mr. Speaker, as I promised, I will be brief. I want to zoom into the GPP nominee. You are going to a challenging office, an office that is challenged with so many cases. We have citizens waiting in detention centers. Their files are in your office. It is only you can determine their fate now, whether to be charged, discharged, or whatever. That is within your remit. And I will emphasize on Article 41 of the Vienna Convention, which the Deputy Leader too emphasized on. No foreign diplomat has the right
to interfere into our internal affairs. It is clear here. And it has happened several times. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I will read with your leave, Mr. Speaker, for the edification of the general public. It is the duty of the one receiving immunities, privileges to respect the laws of the receiving state. This goes to those who are citizens of Sierra Leone who are relying on people that are receiving immunities in this country, diplomats who used to say, there was one I read the last time, Mr. Speaker, the foreign diplomat was emphasizing on the projector that the opposition was emphasizing on, Mr. Speaker. Let it be known to the world that that particular diplomat, he knows himself that he breached this particular article. Mr. Speaker, having addressed the issue of the DPP, of course, the files I've talked about them, I will zoom into the son of the soil, Mr. Speaker, because charity begins at home. Our brother, our hero, our lion, Mr. Umaru Napoleon Nkrumah. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Umaru Napoleon Nkrumah, Esquire, is a household name in this country. He has served as the National Secretary General for the SNPP with fear, without favor, in good faith. And he has represented the young people in that capacity very well. To him, Mr. Speaker, I was not privileged to speak to the youth who were appointed here, the young people who were appointed here. He's a young man that I know will provide that leadership. I just want to admonish those who have been appointed as young people, and him as well, to know that they owe a duty to the young people of this country. And I know he will mentor them. It is a duty that we cannot afford to breach, Mr. Speaker, because as you rightly said just now in your speech, if that duty is breached, there will be consequences. The consequences will be that we will not be entrusted with leadership. It will not be so soon for any president to entrust leadership to us, the young people of this country. We cannot afford to disappoint the majority that are waiting on the street, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, to the nominees for the board, the ACC board, the previous board have done extremely well, those who were there. We've scored the highest in history. So you've been challenged. The challenge you have been put to is to ensure that you increase that number. We cannot afford to go below that number. That percentage we scored in the past 5 years, we cannot afford to go below. The highest we scored previously, Mr. Speaker, is below 40 or 50, Mr. Speaker. Now we are above 70, Mr. Speaker. So we want to see we record 90%, 95%, like we scored in the enrollment in basic and senior secondary school. Later, Mr. Speaker, we scored 100% in early enrollment. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, it will interest you to know that the ACC has served as another breadbasket for this nation, because it is with trust and confidence in the judicious use of what is disbursed to the state that is prompting other donors or granting agencies to continue to support us. Mr. Speaker, as I promised, I will not take your time. I had the deputy leader too said, the president said, and he has said it before me, that SO2, monkey walk, monkey eat. Mr. Speaker, I want to plead with the president, and I want the SNPP government and the advisors to the president, without prejudice to 61. I want them to know that we have so many monkeys qualified monkeys in Falaba. A lot of monkeys, qualified monkeys, if that is the suitable phrase to use, that means we have qualified, suitable Sierra Leoneans in Falaba district that can be brought here for appointment. I can't wait to see them, Mr. Speaker, with special reference to our district chairman, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, it will interest you to know that Falaba district is the only district in the north, in the whole north, that delivered the district council chairperson, 10 councillors, 2 honorable members for the SLPP. We want to see that reflect in the appointment, in jobs. Mr. Speaker, we've done a lot. I think we deserve better. Mr. Speaker, we know people will say we are doing your road. Yes, we appreciate that one. But Mr. Speaker, if we can have some of our qualified youths, qualified men and women, to offices where they can continue to support the activities of the government in our district, this will enable the activities of the SLPP to be planted, or the lubrication of the SLPP into our district. This will enable us, come 2028, to deliver the 18 councillors, the 4 honorable members, without which, Mr. Speaker, it will be challenging. And in giving those appointments, Mr. Speaker, we heavily rely on the National Secretary General, who has served as our father. He has supported us. The Vice President as well, he has done a lot for us, Mr. Speaker. But with the appointment, Umar Napoleon Brumai serving our Esquire, Mr. Speaker, the body will be heavy on him. Support him to have other people that will help him. It is challenging, Mr. Speaker. You and I know. To come from the north for the SLPP, in some areas, Mr. Speaker, you and I know it is a taboo. It is a taboo, Mr. Speaker, in some areas. So if we are here, we've done what we've done in the past, in the just concluded elections, Mr. Speaker, as I say, I will repeat, without prejudice to 61, we are pleading, Mr. Speaker, for us to have a fair representation in this government. It is a plea. This is the suitable platform I can use to say this, Mr. Speaker. I think it will reach to those who can hear this better, and action is needed, Mr. Speaker. I thank you.
I thank the Honorable for his contribution to the debate. Is there any other Falaba man? Yes. Yes, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to have a say on this approval of the nominees sent here by the President. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I want to thank the President immensely for sending us these 5 nominees for approval by Parliament. I'm sure he has taken his time to scrutinize each and every one of them. And they have also come in front of the appointment committee in Parliament here, and they have been vetted. All of them have gone through all of those stages, and I think, as far as I'm concerned, they are qualified for approval, having gone through those very, very difficult stages. They are qualified for approval. But then, to the nominees, I want to admonish you by referring to a quotation in the Holy Quran, chapter 33, verse 72. Surah Al-Ahzab, which says, truly we did offer al-amana, that is trust, or moral responsibility, or honesty, and all the duties which Allah has ordained, to the heavens, and the earth, and the mountains, but they declined to bear it. Bear what? Bear trust. And we are afraid of it, afraid of Allah's torment. But man bore it. Verily, he was unjust to himself and ignorant of its results. Unquote. This is talking about trust. The people of this nation voted His Excellency the President on the 24th June 2023 to give him another mandate and placed trust in him. He in turn has decided to call upon you, nominees, and pass on some of this trust unto you, for you to help him carry that trust that the people of this nation has placed upon him. Trust. The mountains refuse to carry it. Because the true significance of it is, when you place the trust, the burden of trust is so heavy that when you place it on top of a mountain, the mountain will crumble under that weight. It is so heavy, that burden. It is that one that the president has taken part of and given it to you. Can you carry it without crumbling? Do you maintain that trust that the people of this country has placed onto the president and by extension onto you people? Please, as you go into these offices, because we will ratify all of you very soon, as you go into these offices, please try to remember that you should not fail the trust placed on you by the president and by extension the people of this nation. Speaker, honorable members, please allow me to zoom on our National Secretary General, Omaru Napoleon Kuruma Esquire, the son from the twin districts of land of powerful mixtures and the land of milk and honey. The son of Peter Farah Yebe Kuruma and Adama Kamara, a Madingo woman, my own sister. The grandson of Bamba Farah Kokofa Kuruma, the proud grandson. Sir Napoleon Kuruma, you have been reappointed from one sensitive position to another sensitive position. You performed very, very well in your previous position as Deputy Minister of Justice. You acquitted yourself well. You earned or you won the trust of the President and the trust of the nation. Hence the reason for your reappointment to this other new and more sensitive position again. You are going to a ministry.
Hold on. I don't want to impose a time limit. I left that to you, to your best judgment. But I'm beginning to see the need to do so.
It's going to be very brief. You are going to enter a ministry that is very, very important to this nation, especially in the revenue aspect. The nation relies on the Ministry of Mines for revenue to carry out all of its responsibilities. Especially now that we are going to have this feed salon, the Ministry of Mines and Mineral Resources is going to be very, very key in the revenue provision for the government to be able to successfully carry out that task. So please, as you go there, work hand in hand with the substantive minister, so that the country benefits.
And on that note, honorable member,
On that note, honorable member, on that note, I want to also zoom in on Edwin Corey.
No. On that note,
all of the appointees, you have my support, and I want to congratulate you in advance for the appointment.
I thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I thank you, honorable member. Now is the turn of the Kenneman district. No. I think you Falaba spoke for Kwenani. You are twins. You are not identical, but you are twins. Let me take the opportunity to recognize a number of personalities in our midst before we proceed. We have in our midst the learned Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Mohamed Lamin Tarawale. Honorable Justice N.C. Brown Mack, Justice of the Supreme Court. I've been given a list here, but I'm not seeing the people. Well, let me try again. Honorable Justice E.E. Roberts. Roberts. Is he here? Again, he's not. Well, I will send this list back to be reviewed before I continue. Let me now give the floor to the honorable member from Kenneman.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, the nominees as presented are qualified. They were judged in the appointment committee, and they did very well. They will be presented to the plenary for our consideration. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, without wasting any time, I wish to comment on the Deputy Minister Designate of Mineral Resources, Mr. Kuruma, ESQ, the current National Secretary General of the SFPB. In my mind, I believe it's the reason the President have appointed a lot of young people, because he has shown example in his leadership role as a young person to serve as National Secretary General for the oldest political party in Sierra Leone. for 2 terms is currently serving. That is no mean job. Because we all know when it comes to lower level elections, for example, and symbol award, the pressure, the executive, national chairman, the other executive, national secretary general, leadership will be under. We will always manage and meander his way alongside leadership, and at the end of the day, come out in a way that will be accepted by all. Notwithstanding, he has served in a lot of other capacities. As chairman NCP, he did well. As Deputy Minister of Justice, he did well. And now as Deputy Minister Designated of Mineral Resources. That is a huge responsibility. And in my mind, I believe there is a blame in that particular ministry now. The substantive minister is qualified in strategic minerals. The Deputy Minister Designated is a lawyer. And by the resume presented, he holds a higher master's degree in arbitration. The Minister of Mineral Resources will be dealing with a lot of investment, direct foreign investment. So a huge chunk of money from companies will be going in there. And there will be lease agreement and other agreement. So there's a blend of a lawyer with a background of arbitration and somebody who is qualified in mineral resources.
Mr. Speaker, I swear, I therefore move that S 292 be suspended so that the business of the House may continue.
I thank the Honorable Lady. Any second that?
So second, Mr. Speaker.
I can only have one.
I so second.
Thank you. All in favor of the motion, say aye. And those against, say nay. The ayes have it. I promise you'll be brief.
Definitely. So, of course, Mr. Ogbon Napoleon Nkrumah's appointment is apt, and I'm sure he will work with his superior, given his background and acumen, to ensure that we have the required result. A lot of MPs have spoken on interference from foreign diplomats. All of these are happening because probably we rely on some other countries for resources to run our affairs as a state. So if we can manage our resources well, particularly so mineral resources, I'm sure we have the required resources to be able to pay for our services. And therefore, when you have a political independence without economic independence, you always have interference from those countries that may want to put their monies to those regions. So we are hoping that we're beginning to get the required resources from our mineral resources under the President Bill, and we want that to continue. I have no doubt that Mr. Nkrumah and the current Minister of Mineral Resources will do just that. I wish him well in his endeavors. Of course, on the members going to the advisory board of ACC, they will be there to provide the policy guidelines. The ACC have done so much already on the corruption perception of Sierra Leoneans, and those have dropped drastically. They are doing very, very well. We hope they will continue to work with the Commissioner and all the other stakeholders so that corruption will continue to be very expensive, and those who will find corrupt will, of course, definitely be dealt with. I wish them well also. The chairman of the SFP Kenema district, Mr. Boriba Sobon Nkrumah, a.k.a. Agao. The Agao name is not a nickname. He is called Agao because he is the head of a traditional secret society, the Oje and the Hunting Society in Canada. Would that be called the Mende Oje? That is the head we are talking of. He is a very courageous man. He has defended the SFP in Canada all this while.
So the position of Baba Agba is vacant there?
I will have to consult him on that, because I am not a member. From all I know, he is a defender of the SFP.
I have an applicant.
Okay, I will live with the Java and the back. We'll get back to you on that side. It's a very courageous policy. He has put the SFPP together in Kenema. He has defended the SFPP. He has used his position as the back to mobilize young people, but for the right reasons, not the wrong reasons at all. And his appointment as Deputy Internal Affairs Minister has been hailed by both of them. That is why in the gallery all across the world. I want to assure this house that Kenema will gain peace and serenity. What has been lacking, for example, is probably an appointment like this, but it came at the right time when everybody would now be satisfied somehow and sit in your very quiet corner and participate in the governance of the country. So that is the man. So and his appointment will be quite a give hope to other SFPP grassroots people that you have to be patient and your own time will come. Eventually there will be time when you be appointed. And he's a man who, even without a presidential appointment, no proudly, he has some other job. He has always been galvanizing people and giving them jobs somehow, giving them appointment, very many other spheres of life. And I'm sure with this one, he will do more. So I wish him well, and we continue to guide and support him as stakeholders in Kenya. I thank you so much.
Let me recognize the following personalities on behalf of the House. First and foremost, the one and only Chairman Dr. Prinzani. I can't see him from where I'm seated. The Honorable Emmanuel Saateki, former MP. Honorable Mansour Abu Dumbuya, former MP. Chairman of Falabad, SLPP, Yaya former Chair, Bo District, Joseph Mutamidi. Alhaji Mohammed Bailo Jallo, PRO Eastern Region. Mr. Cyril Jackson Smith, former Director of the Public Relations Office. Very good. Last, but by no means least, the one and only former women's leader. Let me now give the floor to the Honorable Ibrahim Kuruma from Kenema.
Do you have this, Mr. Speaker?
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, do you have this?
Honorable Sisino.
Honorable,
Thank you. Thank you.
let me just take you. Listen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Hold on. I take your point without saying a word. You are a new member.
Yes, sir.
Read your SOs well. Parliamentary language is totally different from the language outside of this room. Here we have language that is decorous. Decorous, it is simple, it is straightforward, it is civilized. And you refer to your colleague in that manner.
Let him withdraw.
Go on.
Mr. Speaker, let him withdraw.
In addition, Mr. Speaker, you know, when you are here, I always tell you, when you are here, it's a place of learning. You have to learn. You have your own, if you have anything to say, seniority outside, but when you are here, you respect the seniors. And that man is your senior, the honorable
It's
member.
okay, Mama. Mama, it's all right. The lexicon is different. No, I think the point is well made. The lexicon here is different. And over time, they'll get adjusted to. Okay.
On that note, withdraw, please.
I'm very sorry. Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. I want to say thank you and appreciation to His Excellency, President Julius Maada Bio, for this credible nominees. They have gone through parliamentary appointment committee, and that committee has sustained their confidence in them. Today, they are here for general approval for members of parliament. I want to say congratulations in not share to all of you. I want you to go with two things. One, the presidential agenda of His Excellency Julius Maada Bio, on which he decided to appoint you to take over those critical positions. Today you are first among equals. There are many Sierra Leoneans who are qualified, but today you are the first among equals. Think of President Bio's agenda to change this country, agenda to transform Sierra Leoneans for a better future of this country. Think of that. Two, also make sure that you work diligently to serve your conscience and God. When you work diligently to serve your conscience and God, you are always on the right path. I want you to take note of that. If you do that, meaning at the end of the day, achieve your purpose of appointment. Also make sure that when you go to those offices, try very hard to justify your confidence so that His Excellency Julius Maada Bio will not feel regret of appointing you. Equally, so you prevent yourself from Section 61 of this noble Constitution, in which the President has the mandate to appoint and terminate. Always think of that. So congratulations in advance for all of you. I want to talk of the Deputy Minister of Mines and Mineral Resources, who happens to be the National Secretary General of the Assembly. The meaning of the word Kuruma in the Madingo tribe or Kranko tribe, take your time. You are Fakoli, a solution. A very strong person with instinct, natural instinct.
And the meaning of Napoleon?
The meaning of Napoleon, I will tell you later. Mr. Kuruma, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, is a man with probity. He's a man with rectitude. is a man that maintains the values of respect. Very, very respectful. Trustworthy. Mr. Kuruma.
Wow. That's the Kuruma bit.
Yes.
What about the Napoleon bit? Is it
No,
the
I'll bring in Napoleon later. Mr. Kuruma, taking into account the SLPP as one of the oldest political parties in the South region and Sierra Leone, he always meander his way to ensure that when it comes to the internal politicking in this country, at the end of the day, will drive us and land with us safe. That is the man. His appointment is not a surprise to us. We pray that President Bio, with time, will elevate him more than the position. Now to the district chairman of Kenima District. About Mr. Kuruma is a district chairman for Kenima District, a second-term district chairman. That tells you that he's a very hard-working district chairman. He always bring together our political differences to ensure that we support His Excellency without making that change for a very good outcome. He has been doing that. His appointment as Deputy Minister of Internal Affairs and a man with a political strategy. I'm not surprised. Yeah? I could recall before 2018 when APC was in power, he was victimized. He was humiliated. He was embarrassed. With all those things, at the end of the day, they tried very hard to put SNP together. And in 2018, we won the election. Before 2018, Mr. Speaker, remembers, there was a police inspector general called Karo. He was in Kenima. He used to flog SLPP leaders. He would lie down on the ground and flog them. Karo, he did everything humanly possible to suppress the survival of SLPP in the East. But notwithstanding those things, about newly appointed designate, Internal Affairs Minister, I want you to smile. So I want to say thank you. On that note, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I want to say congratulations to you all. May God guide and protect you in the various ways. Thank you.
I'll take one more. I'll take one from Thailand.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let me tell you something that you didn't know. When you said you just taken from Kailan, Kwenadugu, and Falaba, I thought to myself, Mr. Speaker is definitely not aware of something. That NAPS is also from Kailan, Mr. Speaker. Napoleon is also from Kailan, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, as my colleague from the other side, who is not here today, will say, we are here again today. Today again, Mr. Speaker, we have some fine gentlemen and ladies here to be approved. We thank His Excellency for appointing them. They're all very well qualified, and I can only wish them well. But Mr. Speaker, I'm going to zoom in on a few of them. The first is my brother, Napoleon. Mr. Speaker, this country and history will not forget Napoleon. Wow. he has been to us and for all he has done. If I was in the appointment committee and being asked by His Excellency, I would say definitely Napoleon deserves more than where he's going. You've been giving. I know you will shine more than what you've been giving, and I know in future you will deserve more and you will be granted more. As my brother said, let the monkeys eat more than.
Mr. Speaker, point of order 34. It's not the business of the appointment committee to determine who President appoints in any position. It's the business of the appointment committee to vet presidential nominees. He has sole executive powers to put people in places he feels. We don't have control over that. That's what present them. So don't want to make that correction to madam, please. So even if you're in the appointment committee, I will raise point of order from you to raise that point. We don't expect if you are fit for purpose of that office. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me.
I thank my leader, which is why I said if I was given the opportunity, I will advise. I'm not saying I will appoint, Mr. Speaker. If I was in the opportunity given to, I will advise accordingly. That is my view, and I'm entitled to that, Mr. Leader. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I also want to zoom into my brother, Mr. Forigondo. I haven't met you personally, but reading your resume, I know you can do well in the department that you go in. I wish well, my brother. Now I want to pay a tribute to a special sister, someone that I have worked with in the 5th Parliament, and all of us have worked with. Honorable Josephine McHugh. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, a lady of great quality, interpersonal relationship. She is all that this Parliament needed. We worked tirelessly in the 5th Parliament for us to get the Jewel bill. She was one of the fronters of that bill. It was our hope that she would be in the 6th Parliament. She is not here today because she didn't debate well in this world. She's not here today because her people don't love her. She's not here today because she was not a good MP. She is not here, Mr. Speaker, purely because of political parties' politics. But Honorable Josephine, you'll be remembered by His Excellency. The office that you are going into, do well. This country will continue to remember you. Your services to this nation will not go unnoticed. You served this Parliament, and this Parliament will one day repay you back. Thank you for what you did. As you go into your office, you're going there as an advisor. Do what you do best. You have been like a mother to many of us. And for some of us, I want to say thank you for what you have been. When you go into that office, don't do your motherly thing there. Because you have people coming to you to plead not to be prosecuted when they do corruption. Be half and half of a mother and do more of your job. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, Sierra Leone is fighting corruption. We are scared of corruption. We are running away, but corruption is still chasing us, Mr. Speaker. It's still chasing. Let's be careful as a country, as citizens. My dear Josephine, you are wish well. And to all the other nominees to be approved in this world, you are wish well. Do well in your various offices. This country and Parliament is looking highly up to you, and we wish you all the best. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, may I, for the records,
I thank the Honorable Lady for her contribution.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, order, please.
Yes.
I refuse not to obstruct my honorable member by speaking. Political parties are there to shape the political ideology as a vehicle for our public democracy. So when you are not given the opportunity to serve, you can be given an opportunity to serve in another capacity. And she's serving in another capacity in the executive. Questioning the intra-political parties in this chamber, I want us to distance ourselves from that, Mr. Speaker. We're a democratic state. Those we have intra-party democracy, we should respect that. We should not reduce it to another challenge that is apart between ourselves. Purely between the principles and ideology of political parties.
We sign documents when you're about to do our single assessment. We sign it. So, Mr. Speaker, I'm just doing it.
You are reacting to some innuendo that I do not quite appreciate.
Yes.
I understand why.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Let me recognize Mr. Indolo Bindi. Indua Bindi. Deputy Minister in Gender and Children's Affairs. I wanted to move on, but Kenema seems to have such a powerful magnet that every time I try to move away, I'm drawn back. I really don't know why. Is it maybe because of the Agba? I give the floor to Honorable is it Ella Goba?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, my name is Honorable Mariam Ella Goba, representing Kenema District. The proposed Deputy Minister for Internal Affairs, Mr. Moriba S. Koroma, referred to as Abao, is a household name, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, with loud voice and stand that will never melt in silence in Sagali. Kenema, to be specific, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, the SLPP, both in Kenema and generally Sierra Leone, will never forget the impact of this young man in the world. He has sacrificed a lot, and all calls to ensure that Kenema District maintain sanity. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, with huge confidence, I can guarantee that the internal structure of our country are in safe hands with Mr. Morima serving as Deputy Minister of Internal Affairs. I watched him control one of the largest political graphic in the country with ease. I am sure the same can be adopted in assuring that national assignment is accomplished successfully. I thank you all.
I thank the Honorable Lady, and I want to thank her especially for being very brief and directly to the point. You know, you remind me of the old adage, brevity is the soul of wit. You don't have to be so laborious or, to deliver. Well done.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I hope the members from Budia will follow your example when I give them the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Let me recognize the presence of the presidential spokesman. Last but not the least speaker on my list before we wind up this debate is the Honorable Bosti.
Thank you.
I think you are compensated for the little infraction.
Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I do normally like to sing praises on nominees Some people need to be recognized and be celebrated. Today, we want to celebrate some distinguished gentlemen. I will start with our own very Secretary General, Napoleon. We want to celebrate Napoleon. You've done extremely well, and I'm confident that you learned under the erudite leadership of Dr. Alex Pinsadi. I have no doubt in my mind that you will not perform. You've done so before when you were appointed as Deputy Minister of Justice and that of the Chairman of NCP. We have no doubt, and I have no doubt in my mind. I wish you well, Mr. Kuma, and continue to do the best for our very own party. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, if I fail to recognize and celebrate the man called Moriba S. Kuma about, I will not cross gender. Mr. Speaker,
not only that, we forget about your ambition for 2020.
Mr. Speaker, my very personal self and my family, we pay gratitude to about Mr. Kuma. For me to be here today as a member of Parliament, he did extremely well and stood by me to be sure I achieve my goal. I have no platform to thank about. I have to use this platform to thank you. Thank you very much. As a brother, as a loyal person. Mr. Speaker, honorable members.
You don't explain to me, so I cannot do it.
No, Mr. Speaker, I have to do that. It is. When you have good people in your life, you have to recognize that and you celebrate it. There's no other means of doing that. You have this platform to do that. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, in 2018 after elections, Mr. Kuma was not appointed. But he has confidence and belief in His Excellency the President that one day he will be appointed. Today, Mr. Moriba S. Kuma has been appointed Deputy Minister of Internal Affairs, and I'm confident that he's going to perform. I have no doubt in my mind. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, we don't like normally to sing praises, but when people are good, we say it. He's a good man. And I'm confident that he has put together the people of Kenya, and you can attest to the fact that the gallery will attest this, that he's a good man. Mr. Speaker, honorable member, make no doubt he's the governor of Kenya. Thank you very much, Dr. Alex Pinsadi, for giving us the support that we are here today to celebrate. Mr. Speaker, I want to celebrate Honorable Josephine Makiu. It's our sister, it's our mother. She did well when she was in this parliament as member of parliament for constituency 014. We are not here today because you mean people do not like you. No. It's the matrix of politics. You can be here today and I will not be here tomorrow. But I'm confident that the same institution, the same SLPP that gave you the symbol that you are here is the same SLPP government today has appointed you to be one of the people. I want to thank you. We rest assured that you have our support as members of Parliament. So the rest of the nominees, I want to thank you and I wish you well in your various endeavors. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
So thank the honorable member for his contribution to this debate. We shall now wind up the debate. And the next speaker on my list is the acting leader of the opposition.
Mr. Speaker,
Honorable Mohamed Bambura.
Mr. Speaker, honorable members, Article 41 of the Geneva Convention, this spells out the roles and duties of sovereign states. And this, no ambassador, I repeat, no ambassador has gone against this section of the convention. Mr. Speaker, honorable members.
No ambassador who?
No, I said no ambassador.
In this country?
No ambassador. Yet. I'm coming. No ambassador yet. No ambassador yet. Mr. Speaker, honorable members. Democratic values are universal. Universal. Either you are in Kenya, or you are from Pakistan, or from US, or you are from Sierra Leone. The same value we enjoy here democratically are the same values we enjoy in Pakistan. That is why they are universal. They are unique. And the ambassador that we are talking about here today, he is still under the confines of the democratic values he spoke of. Trust the government of Sierra Leone. Trust the Minister of Foreign Affairs. Trust the Minister of Foreign Affairs. That if he has done otherwise, definitely, by now they will put him to answer for that. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, today again, we are here this morning to approve nominees of the President. Nominees of the President. I don't want to waste your time to talk about Napoleon Koroma, because Napoleon Koroma is a household name in Israel. We all know him. We all know what he stands for. He's a man who cut across. He cut across. And he has been called upon by His Excellency the President always to serve in sensitive positions. Sensitive positions. From NCP to Minister of Justice, now Mineral Resources. Mines. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I want to bring before the floor the gentleman who has been called upon by the President to serve as the DPP Director of Prosecution. You know, this man, he's a very, very soft-spoken, erudite lawyer of long standing. He is. He has always been there. Rain or shine. I mean, rain or shine, he has always been there. The APC, he's always there. The XLPP, he's always there. He's one of the few civil servants in this country that upheld the principles of neutrality. He's one of the few. Mr. Usman Kanu, you are going to be the new DPP. But let me hasten to bring you to light about the problems of that office. The problem of that office. Director of Public Prosecution is a very complex office. Very complex. For the past over 20 years. That is the office, Mr. Speaker and honorable members, where police officers will do a case and they have the file. They send, before ever they charge, they send the file to the DPP office for advice. Many a time, Mr. Kanu, many a time, out of 100 political cases that go to office of the DPP, 100 of them always result to charging. Always. Be it from the SLPP days or the APC days. Always, always. Even the police officers who normally process that case, sometimes they have a very feeble reasons. But because they are political cases, they just bundle them and they expect the DPP to sign, charge, and they charge you to go to court. Yes, that is the office my brother is going to take. So when I had your name, I was rest assured that, oh, all right, hold on. Mr. Kanu now is going to that office, knowing the neutrality you are, knowing your stance, your soft-spoken attitude, then I know that if the police officer come before you, especially the CID, come with a file before you, honestly, you do the needful to scrutinize that file and advise the government, especially the AG, either to charge or not to charge. So I wish you well, and I will monitor you in that office. I will keep a tab. You know, Honorable Speaker and colleagues, we have one of us, Honorable McCain, Josephine, is now going to the anti-corruption office as one of the advisors. We will miss you in this way. Your soft-spoken voice and the smile that we're going to miss in this parliament. When I heard the news that your name was not in the list of the Kenema, I said to myself, I trust in God Almighty. Like me. I said I trust in God Almighty. God always protects good people. Always. There is a way He always elevates good people. You know, Mr. Speaker and honorable members, Honorable McKay, he's a mother. McKay is a mother. And we believe that she is going to that office with an attitude of motherliness. With an attitude of motherliness. I have no doubt. I have no doubt whatsoever that the Anti-Corruption Commission, an office already being the end view of the world in fighting corruption, has got a main player added to the list. Honorable Speaker, much has been said about the Agbawo. Agbawo of Kenema. I know him. The Agbawo of Kenema during our days, the APC. I know him. And I also know him, the Agbawo under the SNPP days. He's a steadfast man. That's how he is.
A warrior.
He's a warrior. He's a fighter. He has a little bit of attributes, like me. All I would say, Mr. Chairman Agbawo, you go to that office. It's a very complex office. But I know with you and your minister, you are going to deliver the peace and security of this country. Especially at a time when our young people in this country are facing difficulties under the hands of the push. The drugs. I know you will put a team together with your minister to go around this country, to go around and chase the push sellers. We know them. We know them. Go out and get them. Stop bringing the kush to this country. Whoever they are, you have the support of this parliament to go against them. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I will not hold you long. I will say we from this end. We from this end. We from this end, we are 100% in support of the approval of the Parliament. So under you, I don't know. Mr. Speaker and honorable members, please hurriedly approve these members.
I thank the Honorable Acting Leader of the Opposition. Over to you now. Leader of Government Business. Is that his new title?
He's a fighter.
Mr. Speaker, it's not a new title. I was fighting the battle to re-elect the now chairman. At that time, it was the chairman and leader of the SFPP. So I was the campaign chairman. So I went to the north. Yeah, people are very hostile. So I was using some amphibic way of putting my speech, making it wet and making it dry. So the words around me call me a real crocodile. Thank you. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I want to say thanks to you, my colleague on the other side. You know, when my colleagues are asking, say we. You know, there's a difference between trying to deviate someone from a natural environment, trying to satisfy a minute group of people, and someone standing at a very strong position, defending his position on the Constitution. That's why I like to praise you. Not for any other thing, but for talk about your stance that has to do with the Constitution. If you look at Section 97, if you look at the B part of it, it's very clear. You don't alienate yourself from people you represent. Yeah. And that's exactly what you have done. It is in this Constitution. Thank you very much for bringing us to speed on certain issues that we're supposed to know. That has to do with our nominees. While we've steadfastly tried to react to one point you raised for the records. My colleague, I listened to him carefully. It's not the first time he's doing it. It was with my team in the 5th Parliament when we went for a meeting at Strasbourg. And we raised the issue of the Vienna Convention 1961. I will put a committee of political affairs who said, we have signed and ratified the Vienna Convention. Long time ago. Member states, as a diplomat and whatever you are in a state, you should respect the Vienna Convention. Article 41.
41, it's clear.
Article 41. We have stated at times without number. And even when I was presenting the Minister of Foreign Affairs, from the committee stage right onto the plenary, I did mention about it. And we have to respect those conventions. It's coming from the United Nations. So thank you very much for your contributions, and I believe you have had it clear now. But let me start to talk about it. I've read their resume, I've presented them, giving them lucrative adjectives to present them to you because I interacted with them very, very well at the committee stage. So, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, it's good to have a young people, but very responsible ones. That is the thing is different from President Bio's agenda trying to promote young people. Promote young people and give them responsibility of state. It's not the first time. People are just seeing it. Napoleon came as a Secretary General when he was a very young man. Mid-30s. As Secretary General of the Federal People's Party. He fought. An erudite lawyer. Under the directives of the chairman sitting here today. Was a young man who is very respectful and a comrade. He's a comrade. A comrade from the Orange Club, which I remember. He's sitting here not because he's called Napoleon. He's giving the position to serve Secretary and went unopposed in the World Convention. Not because he's called Napoleon. You don't need to like Napoleon because he's Napoleon. You can like Napoleon because of the work he's doing. And that is a young man. He is very humble and respectful. Sometimes he said to me and Dr. Adi will say, come here. Say, come here. Let's see, can I. He will come humbly and present his case to Dr. Adi. And take corrections. Sometimes he can be bitter, but he listens to those who think he has worked with under difficult circumstances. He's a loyal person. He knows what to do. He has crossed the length and breadth of this nation. He represents Israel People's Party. When he was outside the system, that is the SLPP call, he was a lawyer. He did the pro bono service from the Brewer Chambers, representing our people, when we are arrested by you people on the other side. For breaking the law. Well, I don't know. But he was busy representing us, that's why we went to court. But I can remember when we met after his appointment. And that is why the issue, we repeat the statement, the text is repeated. And I will again, for the records. And he knows what he's doing. And his heart is dry. His pathway is very clear. But we comrades, we like to come from very difficult points. And when we achieve, it's very difficult to bring us down. That's why we are strong as communists of the United. It's difficult to defeat us. Because you can only predict us when we appear. Our actions speak very loud for ourselves. But Mr. Napoleon, let me just repeat these words I read. Responding to committee, the erudite legal professional said he was grateful to His Excellency the President for the confidence bestowed on him to serve in his cabinet, and his appointment to the mining sector was a strategic move to critically review most of our mining disagreements. When we went to the committee, he said, I'm fully aware of the consequences of trying to abrogate agreement that we have signed, we have passed, ratified in Parliament. So because you are aware of that, I know the skills, I have the professionalism, I know what to do, I'm involved in applications. So he said, most of this is in the interest of our people. We can review them. But it's somebody who is very careful about what he's doing. He's also mindful of the provision in the Constitution, Section 62, working with his substantive boss, like the minister. So we can review. I've been on it. He has done it when he was at the Legal Officers Department. Now he's going to the mineral sector directly to look at some of these mineral agreements. In line with what my colleague said, with the minister now, Julius Patai. Thank you very much for taking it to consideration. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, the reason why I made it very clear in this chamber, when we are about to approve ministers and in the final approval in the chamber, I I did refer to section 62 of the Constitution, where you have the ministers and the deputy ministers working, and in between you have the permanent secretaries. Now you need to work together. You need to move on, because sometimes the minister and deputy minister have each other's throat because of the administrative maladministration of the permanent secretaries. Sometimes they tend to meander around them for their own personal interest. So what we have committed ourselves, we are keeping some, we are approved. We said you should have clear desk responsibilities. So without going further, because Mr. Napoleon was not around, and he said, look, for me, I have served in different capacity with some amount of dexterity. I will continue to serve in that capacity. So thank you very much for acknowledging what you have done for yourself, and also pushing for a proper reform at the mineral sector. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, let me talk about a man. His appearance is different from his action. A very decent politician. A man who can mobilize people to go up and night because of the decency and love for his people. It's a true loving man, a traditionalist, a man aka God Abao. And because he's a grassroots man, Romani once said, who feels it knows it. He feels for the common people. It's not a voice in terms of the grassroots. It's a typical, stricto sensu grassroots man. He feels for them. He knows what to do. You go anywhere in the length and breadth of beyond Kenema. He's popularly known because when you go to Kenema, the least man you meet around, you tell you about. People are trying to tempt him. They have tried on several occasions to tempt him. But let me tell you, it's not easy to bring a good man down. About you're a good man. Whether you like it or not. He's a good man. Those who go about pelting negative things around our people, President Bill is a very risky president and a visionary of this nation. You can say what you feel, but he knows what to do best for the interest of this nation. Appointing Abao is the right step in the right direction. He did not miss his words that Monkiwo, quoting the words of Honorable Emerson Thomas, Deputy Leader 2. Hey, Lamina. I combine them. Honorable Emerson Thomas, Lamina. Honorable Lamina, sorry. It is good for some of us to talk about people of state nature about. People try to tell in different ways and forms. In contested, somebody says going for the second time as a district chairman. In fact, the second time he went unopposed because people went after him unnecessarily. And I told them, if you suffer, SO2, before you invade. When times you are tough, he was the one who brought all the delegates, killed them in front of President Yu, said, these are my delegates, Mr. President, to be. I'm going to ask them to pledge their loyalty and support to you openly on the camera. And he did that in the hall. He sacrificed and contributed for us where we are today. There is no way you are going to write the history of SFPP without including Mr. Abao. You see, I said it in my opening statement, Mr. Speaker, you are not here. I said it in my opening statement. I said, it is not good for you to be a sycophant. If you love your leader, stand tall with your leader, fight for your leader. Look at the agenda and push for where you are to succeed. The success of your leader is paramount. Abao is not a sycophant. Abao is a very strong man. He has supported President in the length and breadth of this nation. Today we have talked about push, but people are saying, go fight the push. Honorable Mohamed Bangura said, let us go after those who are bringing it. I support you on that. But Mr. Moriba Eskoma, aka Abao, cannot work in isolation. He has to take instructions from his boss. He has to take instructions from other dignitaries, so other people who are working as stakeholders within the Internal Affairs Ministry. Hear us, listen to us, work with them. But it's this one, talking about push, we have to curb it. We have laws on drugs. It's not becoming a menace in our society. Today we are this way because we are drugs free. How do we want our subjects to be if we accept them to take drugs at all times? We don't need to accept drugs of any form. It's not acceptable in Australia by law. Thank God we had the presidential spokesman this year. People tend to blame the government because their children are taking push. You are permanently responsible to take care of your children. The government provides policies so that you use those policies to take care of your own family. That's why we said, talking about education, the free and quality education. That's the only way you can change a nation. To fight for the survival of a nation, to bring this nation to a speed where we could be for this 21st century, and for a progressive future. It's only by education you can do it. There's no means you can do it. You talk about the likes of Dr. Prince Harding, you talk about the likes of the speaker we have, the Africans, the Newmans, the Singapore Thomas, the Samashaka Samas Eta, because they are educated. So we are destroying our children, we are destroying our youth, telling them to go for push. If you are a politician, you are not a full-blown politician. You are not a human to say, look at drugs, take drugs. There are more drugs that are more dangerous than push. So, Mr. Speaker, with your leave, let us take this one as a nation drive in fighting drugs within our own system. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, for us, all of us, in helping to shape the political trajectory for our country, if you are APC, criticize us positively or bring us solutions. So I listen. We cannot be cowed because you are giving us support. We are in business of partnership. Days of slavery are over. Those days of colonialism are over. Economically, we cannot be strong. But when the president says, we are going to form an independent body to shape our electoral system, it means we want to shape the trajectory of our electoral system. It's not subject to any negotiation. Is subject to the transformative drive we are taking to change the landscape of this country. That's why we are here. It's an inclusive system we are being. When we fought to have the free and equality education roll out, as enshrined in our constitution, when we are talking about the elimination of the death penalty, when we are talking about having to see how best we can help our girls to go to school, we did not ask people to come to our aid. We said we are going to do it by law, and we did it. When we said we are going to repeat Part 5 of the Public Order Act, we did it in the interest of Sierra Leone. We are doing the transformation in our electoral system because we have the interest of the state. So let us again in this drive to support our people. It's especially for the DPP, who by Section 66 of the Constitution has the full right to prosecute people who are involved in criminal offenses against the law of discretion. But it's not an independent person. It's under the direct supervision of the Minister of the Attorney General, Minister of Justice. We need to know some of these things. So as a nation, I'm trying to establish that we have independent nation, taking in for the Vienna Convention, the state of our president. We have our nominees, shaping the trajectory of our country. Those who are in charge to prosecute, they have the constitutional obligation to do so. Mr. Speaker, let us live as a nation. But the only way we can succeed is to intertwine democracy, the opposition, whom the members of the executive, whom the judiciary, those in government. When we come together with good policies, our product will be pure democracy in Sierra Leone. There is no perfect democracy in Sierra Leone. But we have policy to change our trajectory. For the others, our honorable and colleagues, for the Anti-Corruption Advisory Board, it's very clear. We started with citation from the section 22, subsection 4. We want them to know it's not an honorary board. It's not. The only way we can progress as a nation. Corruption is more than talking about cancer. It's a cancer of its type. Today, nations are going bankrupt because of corruption. We can only talk about fees alone, other factors, other things that we are doing. As a drive for a nation, to have our GDP increase when we cut corruption. Corruption always fight back. So I advise you what is stated for the board is the debate that we did, Mr. Speaker, is the debate. Yeah, that's read the provision, Mr. Speaker. You have to come to advise the Anti-Corruption Commission. You are charged with responsibility to fight corruption. We are not perfect. As we speak, corruption is still moving around us. So we have to stand tall to fight corruption. So I thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the time. Thank you, colleagues, for all what you have done for your contributions. We have so much, Mr. Speaker. Let me stand tall on this platform to also say thanks to our paramount chiefs. There is no way we are going to succeed as a nation. As I said, governance is by intertwining. You have the paramount chiefs, they are there to arbitrate us, even when we are in this house. So we give them the support, and they also give them support. It's a reciprocal business. So, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I thank you very much again for those who have served before in different capacities, especially for Mr. Morima S. Kuruma and Mr. Umaru Napoleon Kuruma. Both of them, they have done their best. And those who are joining them, like the DPP who have served in the corridors of the Attorney General's office, we hope and pray that the CD will speak volumes on the interpretation of the actual work. We also say thanks to President Yu for looking at these gentle people, putting them in the right place to serve this nation. There is no way we can work better, or we work better as Sierra Leoneans. Our political differences are very minor, but what brings us together is Sierra Leone, under the freedom, under the unity and justice. Mr. Bangura, let me again stand tall to tell people you are on the right trajectory. We are not asking you to praise us. We are just asking you to take up your considerable responsibility. Criticize us. If it is positive, we can accept it. If it's not positive, we can challenge it. It's up to you too. Nobody can challenge you. You are under the directives of the Constitution. Nobody is bigger than the Constitution. Thank you very much for joining us in fighting a journey cause. A journey cause to fight Sierra Leone. A journey cause to bring us together. Because we believe as Sierra Leone, there is only one country we have. The unity of Sierra Leone is very powerful. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I move that the fifth report of the first session of the 6th Parliament of the Committee on Appointment and the Public Service be adopted by the House, and the recommendations contained therein be approved. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I thank the Honorable Leader of Government Business, and before him the Honorable Leader of the Opposition for their contributions to this important debate. I think this will be the last approvals of nominees of His Excellency the President that the House will be making before we rise for our recess tomorrow. Before I put the question, however, let me advise both the nominees and their supporters in the galleries that the rules here do not permit you to leave your seats before I rise. You should only rise after I move out of this well, not before. So the same decorum that you are demonstrating now should continue until I take my exit. Thank you for that understanding. Honorable members, the question is that the fifth report of the first session of the 6th Parliament of the Committee on Appointments and the Public Service be adopted by the House, and that the recommendations contained therein be approved. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it.
Motion of the Committee on Appointments and the Public Service proposed by Honorable Matthew S. Nima has been approved.
It is now my very pleasant duty, I would even say a great honor, for me to add my own voice of felicitations to those of the House in its entirety. When I see nominees like Umaru Napoleon come before us, I see the other Kuruma, a warrior. From all what I've heard, it reminds me of somebody from my own part of the country. Once a warrior, always a warrior. So the Kurumas are warriors. Now I know. And in this case, we have two Kurumas, one from the north and one from the east. And I want to take the opportunity of paying my own personal obeisance to the other Kuruma, Agao. Because he and I belong to the same society. The only thing I want him to recognize that there is a Baba Agba. I think the spokesman who is with us understands what I'm saying. Yes, and the Honorable Manso will also understand that language better than most of you. But quite frankly, I want to take the opportunity on behalf of the House to thank His Excellency the President for these fine nominees that we have before us today. That they are eminently qualified, there can be no question. You take the two Kurumas, you take Mr. Kanu, who has served in the Law Officers Department for more than a decade. You cannot have a finer, a more erudite lawyer than Mr. Kanu. And I'm sure he is going to excel in his new position as the Director of Public Prosecution. What else can one say when you have beautiful and nice people and people are eminently qualified for the positions they've been appointed to? Except to say, welcome to government. We wish you well. We join everybody else in asking for God's blessings and guidance and direction as you discharge your very onerous responsibilities in your new assignments. Good luck and God bless. We will conclude this morning's work with a certain recognition to a young person. The initiative in Capacity Building Association International has given an award to a young Sierra Leonean, Ambassador Issa, is it Aisha or Issa? Aisha Lucy Lawson, who excelled in a spelling competition in Dubai in the year 2022, representing Sierra Leone, and getting a global award for that. Shall we all please acknowledge this work in Sierra Leone and give her the recognition she deserves? It is all an aspect of the free quality education of His Excellency. We see it alive and live right here. And with the indulgence of the House, I would like to give the young lady the opportunity to address you for a few minutes. Well, Where is the moving man?
You go slow. Check.
Speaker, can we give her the minister? Yes.
By all means.
Thank you.
If that will make her more comfortable.
Yes. So prepare it, please.
Mr. Speaker, Honorable Clerk of Parliament, Honorable members of the Noble House, members of the Fourth Estate, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. The Spelling Bee family in Sierra Leone extend our warmest greetings to all. We want to thank you all for this opportunity to articulate to respected individuals and esteemed members of Parliament. My name is Ambassador Isa Lucy Emalosin, the Global Ambassador for Spelling Bee Institution in Africa. The African Spelling Bee Consortium, which comprises of 22 countries, is an institution that celebrates the power of words and language. Sierra Leone has a counterpart institution which is called ICBAI, standing for Initiative in Capacity Building Association International. This organization, in several occasions, have been invited to participate in International Spelling Bee, also known as Intercontinental Spelling Bee, in various parts of the world. Last year, Sierra Leone was invited to participate in the Intercontinental Spelling Bee that was held in Dubai, and I successfully emerged as the winner. And was awarded a trophy, medal, plaque, and certificate for recognition for my outstanding performance. It was very dispiriting.
Allow the young lady, she has not finished.
Having heard the presidential address, we all see that all the nominees have high and standard educational system. It was very dispiriting that I was the only participant who was registered from Sierra Leone, whilst other knowledgeable children were well prepared to witness and participate in such events in their numbers from different countries. It is also worthy to note that we have also failed several times to participate in other intercontinental spelling bee competition, especially the last African spelling bee competition in Ethiopia, which we could not participate due to lack of funds, as we do not have consistent partners to be funding these trips. We would love to take you along our national spelling bee journey that is done across districts and regions annually. As such, we are humbly requesting our parliamentarians to help us facilitate the next spelling bee competition across the districts, as this is what will qualify your children to be exposed to the international platform. It's obvious that there are very outstanding kids, especially in the provinces, that can do better than some of us residing in the cities. We would also love to mention that spelling bee isn't all about spelling and being the best, but it is a platform that helps children showcase their talents and build confidence in their abilities. Don't you want that? And I would admit, yes, sometimes it is challenging. Yet it has a rewarding experience that encourages a love for learning and literacy. And we have been inspired after witnessing the dedication and hard work that goes into preparing for these competitions. A government-sponsored spelling bee institution can have a significant impact on education and language skills in our country. It will provide opportunities for students to showcase their spelling abilities and promote a culture of literacy. It is therefore imperative for the government of Sierra Leone, local and international NGOs, private sector, and other humanitarian agencies to support this venture as it goes a long way in paving the future of our beloved nation. We are on our knees pleading to this noble house to knock doors on our behalf. We hope that going forward we will not be crying as a result of lack of funds to participate in any future competition, but we will be jubilating after we have flown the Sierra Leone flag high in the international platform. Yes, we can. In a nutshell, we have no doubt in this noble house to support us financially and morally to upkeep our laudable vision and venture. I would love to conclude by saying that we don't intend to miss out the future opportunities after our humble plea to this esteemed house. Sierra Leone has started making great impact in this educational system globally, and we ought to accelerate in what we have started. In other words, we are supposed to finish what we have started. Thank you all for your rapt attention as we look forward to your utmost collaboration.
On behalf of the House, we'd like to congratulate you for flying the flag of Sierra Leone so high in Dubai and for being the winner of the competition that you participated in. Thank you for coming and good luck next time. I cannot promise what this house will give, but your request will be given the due consideration it deserves.
Point of order. Point of order, ma'am. Can you please take your seat, please? Please take your seat, ma'am. Thank you. So you can call upon by the speaker if you want to make a mistake. Yeah? All right, thank you.
Come forward. Yes.
Good afternoon, everybody. May I start?
Kindly, honorable members, kindly lend her your ears.
Good afternoon again. My name is Aissata Musuhadi, the founder of Spelling Bee in Sierra Leone. We are invited. I want to tell the Parliament that Sierra Leone is now part of the African Spelling Bee Consortium that comprises of 22 countries. This African Spelling Bee is an annual event that is being hosted by a country every year. This year we are supposed to present participants from Sierra Leone to Ethiopia, Addis Ababa, and also to take at least 20 participants to the Intercontinental Spelling Bee in Dubai. Meaning Sierra Leone will one day have to host, and we would love to host the African Spelling Bee here in Sierra Leone, because our agenda is quality education. And I want to admonish this August meeting that if we want to have more women, eloquent women, like Aisha Lusilosin, we need to catch the kids young, especially the girls. As she told you, it is a platform to show talent So if we can go back and catch up the girls, I wish Sylvia also expressed herself. You would have brought it more. In light of the above, we want to dedicate this to girl child empowerment in Sierra Leone, this plate. Thank you very much.
So, honorable members, the advice we have is to catch them young. Catch them young. Not in the sense you know that. Not the old ones. With that, the House stands adjourned to 2:30 in the afternoon today. Thank you.
Ali, Dakoti. The mic, get up.
Parliament. Yeah, another reach. Hello? Hello? Hello?